Wow, what an introduction. Thank you, TJ. Now I want to give all of you a very quick burst of inspiration, and I want to show you what some people have achieved that have been through my program. And it's going to spark a lot of questions and it's going to spark a lot of inspiration. So I want you to make notes and keep it until the end when we do the Q&A. So have a listen to this.
Believe you me, I am killing it. Thank you so much, Karen, for that course. My first month, I made about 16,000 Rand or so. So thank you so much.
I got traction within 2 days and two-night booking in my Pazula house. And then I got traction again 2 days later on a 5-day booking. So fabulous results, great content, great process. So by the time I left, I had everything I needed.
We actually snoozed the listing, the Airbnb listing for a month, just to get a few things in order. And then it was the 26th of May, a Sunday, that evening. I remember just updating the profile, calling the owner, saying, listen, we're taking this live. He said, yes. Monday morning, 7:15. Month fully booked. I was in awe. I was like, oh crap.
I listened through the whole thing. I was really fascinated by how you all started and, how you're helping other people start their own Airbnb businesses. I really enjoyed the structure. I really enjoyed how you were going from categorically, like you were saying, okay, now we're doing this, now we're doing this. And then and I liked the fact that you were teaching us how to list our own properties, how to list, how to do and how to telling us, what, if you talk about security, you're going to scare your guests because they're already hearing so much. You need stuff like that. That's why I said I wanted something relevant to South Africa. Because
something
if
practical, yes.
Yeah. Well, right away, because remember I published it and put it on snooze. And then it came off a snooze before I was even ready. And I was asking you, how do I put this thing back on snooze? And before I could do that, people were inquiring. And
within a month, I have qualified for Superhost. I really applied all the tips, and it was so simple. I've had 11 stays and guests in a month, 5-star reviews. I have a 30-day guest here now. So I'm just so excited and blown away. Couldn't have done it without Karen.
How long did it take before you got your first booking?
I think a day. I think it took a day. I think it was a day or 2 days. It was quick. It was very quick. In the first 3 days of going live, I think it was 3 to 5 days, we got 3 bookings.
What made you decide to rather invest in this workshop than go and spend hours watching YouTube videos?
Okay, well, the thing is, I've spent hours watching YouTube videos, and in everything I tried to learn, I've done that process before of spending hours and hours watching YouTube videos and trying to learn for free on YouTube and all of that. And in my experience, school fees will always be school fees. So it's better to find someone who you can hold accountable, who can pretty much hold your hand doing it, than to go do it on your own and spend way more money than you would have spent had you been taught how it was done.
It's been 2 years now, if not just less than 2 years.
You started doing Airbnb before you came to do my workshop, right?
Yes, I started before, but it wasn't quite working out. I wasn't, understanding the business, number one, as well as how it works for you to be to be regarded as someone that is a super host that can get bookings just like that. So as soon as I came to the workshop, it sort of made sense as to what I'm doing wrong. And immediately when I did that, all those changes, I remember being excited with this instantaneous booking, right? No, I think you are phenomenal. The workshop that you do, I must for someone to, in order for you to, like I'm saying, to understand the business model, and how you actually get into making this wheel turn. Attend the workshops, spend a bit of time, and you surely won't regret it, because there's a community of people out there that have done mistakes that you should avoid, or that sort of want to impart some knowledge on you. So Karen is great. I mean, it's always wonderful to know that there's people that you can reach out to just fingertips away, right? So yeah, absolutely would want to encourage people to take the opportunity and attend.
Fabulous. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so glad to be here tonight, and I'm so honored that TJ invited me. I can't believe that it's been 2 years since he came to my workshop, and it's great to see people here from Doha, from the UK, from South Africa. So welcome to How to Pay Your Bond, or for those from overseas, how to pay your home loan with Airbnb and live for free. And I'm going to be sharing with you today how you can do that even if you don't own any property. Now, what makes this seminar different from all the others that you may have attended? Well, I am doing what I am telling you here and what I'm sharing with you. I joined Airbnb in 2013. This is a screenshot of my Airbnb profile. There it is. I already joined in 2013. I'm now a super host, and I'm going to be telling you about Superhost a little bit later. And right now I have in the region of about 40 listings countrywide in South Africa. So this is not theory. I am actually doing what I am telling you today. So here are photographs of presentations that I've done pre-COVID, when we were doing on-stage presentations and boardroom workshops and live presentations. But thanks to COVID, I am now able to take my presentations online and speak to people in South Africa and in Doha and in the UK all at once, me from the comfort of my home and you from the comfort of your home. And I hope that by the end of this session, I'm going to be able to help you take the shortcut to learn from all the mistakes that I've made right in the beginning. So here's what you can expect from this short presentation, and it's very short. I'm going to speak very fast, and I want you to warm up the keyboards. Sorry, I missed something there. So you're going to discover 3 things during this presentation. The first one is you're going to discover how to use the Airbnb platform to create a new income stream so that you can pay off your home loan faster, or if you don't have a home loan, or if you don't want to pay it off faster, pay for your rent or whatever it is that you really want to do if you had a second or a third or a fourth income stream, because I know that some of you might already have more than one income stream. And you're going to discover, secondly, how to use the current economic conditions in your favor. And thirdly, you're going to discover the main reasons why I prefer to use Airbnb as opposed to any other booking platform out there. And just a side note, I'm not affiliated to Airbnb in any way whatsoever. I'm not employed by them. So I'm unbiased in my experience and my opinion that I'm going to be sharing with you today. So let's warm up those keyboards. I want you guys to interact because I can't see your faces and I'm not on the stage. So I can't walk amongst you. And therefore, I want you to interact with me, and I want you to type for me in the chat box. Type for me if you own any property that you are renting out to a tenant. Type 1 or Y for yes and N for no, so that I can just get an idea of who do we have in the room here today. Type for me Y for yes, or 1 for yes, and 2 for no. Right, so there are quite a few yeses. People who own property that they are renting out. Kevin says 4. Kevin, I'm not sure which option is 4. Maybe. All right. So quite a few people. All right. Most of you own property that you're renting out. Excellent. Excellent. Most people are renting out property to tenants. The second question that I have for you is, what made you sign up for this specific webinar? Because we've got such an amazing Step Up conference. Why did you choose this particular one? Type for me 1 if it's curiosity, 2 if you want to know how to live for free, 3 if you need extra money, and 4 if it is because you want to get into property or if you want to expand your property portfolio. So type for me 1 if you're curious, 2 if you want to know how to use Airbnb to live for free, and 3 if you need more money, and 4 if you want to use the money to get into property or to expand your property portfolio. Okay, lots of people wanting to expand their property portfolio or just want to make extra money. That's fantastic. Well, whether your reason was 1, 2, 3, or 4, Airbnb will meet that need. Next question. How much extra do you want to earn per month? Now, I know we have people from all over the world here, so make sure that you put your currency, whether it's South African rand or dollar or euros or whatever it is. Tell me, how much extra would you like to earn over and above what you're earning now per month? Put the number in there for me. I'm not going to be judging you. You just tell me, how much extra do you want? Let's see. Let's see what the numbers are saying. And remember to tell me the currency that you are earning in at the moment. Right. Constance says 15,000 Rand per month. Fantastic. Lumko, 20,000. Mary, 10,000, 150, 50. That is fantastic. Fantastic. I hope, Constance, that 15,000, and Mary, I hope 10,000 is what you want to earn on one property per month, because you can earn so much more. The numbers that are coming through, I know you guys are big dreamers, and that is fantastic. So let's talk about today, let's talk about hundreds of thousands of rands or dollars or euros or whatever the currency is that you are working in, because I collect hundreds of thousands of rands every year on Airbnb, and I'm going to show you how. Now, what are you going to do with all that extra money? Are you going to use it to settle your debt? Type for me D if you're settling debt, T if you want to travel, P if you're going to invest it in properties, and S if you're going to be using it for savings. Let me see who is going to use that money for what, because you've now told me how much you want to earn. Property, property, property. That's why everybody is here, because this is a property conference and it doesn't matter. Yes, you are right, M5 property and Tembisa. You don't have to choose just one of those. The good news is that you can tick all of the above, because, ladies and gentlemen, I have settled debt with Airbnb. I have traveled with Airbnb income. I've invested in more properties, and I've saved extra money. So you are not restricted to just one of those. Then tell me in the chat box very quick, why have you not achieved that yet? Just give me a one-word answer. One word, why you have not made that extra income yet. Let's see who is brave enough to admit why they are not there yet. Just give me a one-word answer. Funding. Funding, I see. Is that the only problem that we have here tonight? The only obstacle? Procrastination. I know that one too well. No knowledge. Oh, I know that. I was there in 2013. Absolutely zero knowledge, zero experience. Well, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are going to draw a line in the sand. And after this seminar, you will no longer be able to use those excuses, right? So let's continue. Who is this for? This seminar is for property owners, and many of you already own property. It's for empty nesters. If you are somebody like my mom, kids have left home, you're sitting with a big empty house, this seminar is for you. Aspiring property investors, and I know there's many of you here in the room today. And even if you are a tenant, you don't own any property, but you are a tenant, you can use Airbnb to make money. All you need is access to a house, a room, an apartment, even a caravan. And I'm going to show you that very, very shortly. So tell me in the chat box. I just want to get an idea of who we have in the room today. Type T if you've used Airbnb to travel. Type H if you've used Airbnb to host. And type TH if you have been a host and a traveler, and no if you've never used Airbnb, you haven't used Airbnb yet. So just give me an idea. I want to see, because then I'm going to skip through certain sections if many of you have used Airbnb, because I don't want to. All right, no, travel, host. There's one host here. Somebody has hosted and traveled. Okay, so most people have not used Airbnb yet. Okay, so as I said to you, you just need to have access to a room, a spare room, an apartment, a house, a beach house, a tent, a caravan, because yes, and the overseas people, you will know this as an RV. In South Africa, we call this a caravan. You can just put it like this person on your property, dolly it up, put it on Airbnb. There are tree houses on Airbnb. There are tents on Airbnb. So how does Airbnb work? Now, I'm going to show you step by step quickly how Airbnb works. And if any of you want a copy of this particular slide, then all you need to do is drop me an email to workshops with an S at smartairbnbs with an S at the end .com, and I'll send you a copy of this. Step number 1, you're going to register as a host on Airbnb. Then you're going to create your listing, and you're going to list your room, your spare room, your tent, your house, your beach house, whatever it is. And then you're going to receive inquiries from potential guests. You're going to look at it and you're going to decide, no, I don't want to host this person, or you're going to say, yes, I want to host this person. And then you're going to send that person a confirmation that you will approve their booking, and you're going to send them check-in instructions. Next step, they're going to check in. Step 7, you are going to get paid by Airbnb for this booking, and the guest is going to enjoy their stay and do their own thing. After they've checked out, then you're going to leave a review for each other, and then you prepare for the next guest, and you repeat the whole process. And in a nutshell, that is how Airbnb works. If you want a copy of this, just email me workshops@smartairbnbs.com, and I'll send you this quick guide on how Airbnb works if you want to keep that. Now, at the end of this presentation, you're going to have 2 options. If you want to become like TJ, who has done one of my workshops, there's going to be option 1, which is the quick start option, and option 2, which is the advanced hosting program. But let's get back to business. I'm going to show you some stats. And in South Africa, the average host in South Africa earns approximately $1,900, not per month, per year, which equates to about 28,000 Rand. And I'm going to show you later why I think this is absolutely ridiculous, and how I earn that on one property in 1 month, and how you can do the same. And I know why the average host in South Africa earns that per year, because they've started where I've started 7-8 years ago, when there was no coaching available. I had no experience in hospitality, and I just had to learn through trial and error. And that is how I've taught myself. And now I have all the secret sauce, and I'm going to be sharing some of that secret sauce with you tonight. And so today I'm a super host, and we don't have time to go through all the criteria for super host, but what it basically means is that I consistently comply with certain criteria that Airbnb has set for people to be hosts, and they have given me the super host badge. Now, pre-COVID, I used to do presentations like I'm doing tonight in big hotel conference rooms like this one here, and I did that all over the country. And now I do these presentations online, and I can reach people anywhere, any corner of the world. and we do our workshops and everything via Zoom. You've just got to love the new normal. And I have taught my students, I have shown them the systems that I've developed over the last few years, and I have shown them how they can manage their Airbnb listings from afar. They don't have to live next door to their listings. I have shown students who live in South Africa how to manage their Airbnbs in Portugal, in Spain, in Mozambique, in Italy, amongst others, because you don't need to even live near the property that you are managing. Of those 40 listings that I manage, many of them aren't even in Johannesburg where I live. So here's what people don't know about me. As you can see, I grew up in a very traditional Afrikaans family. This was a photograph taken on my little brother's christening day. And we grew up on a nature reserve. We lived on a nature reserve my entire school career. So I didn't interact, and I wasn't used to the big city and, property and investments and all those things, because both my parents worked for nature conservation. So we spend all our time in nature. There are the three of us, myself in the middle and my two little brothers on either side. We spend all our time in the mountains and in the rock pools. My little brother, or my middle brother, who's 6 years younger than me, was very ill when he was little. And my parents, on a government salary, a nature conservationist salary, couldn't afford to pay the medical bills for my little brother. So what do you do in the 80s, where long before smartphones, TV had just come out, computers were just sort of there. There were no smartphones, no Shopify, no online trading, let alone Airbnb. You need extra money to pay for your child's medical bills. Well, my mom did what she does best. She's an incredible seamstress, and she made these dolls. This was in the early 80s. Made these dolls, her and my dad, because he helped her to make it. And they sold over 1,000 of these at 25 Rand each, which I don't know what it translates to in dollars, maybe $2. And they sold over 1,000 of these in order to pay for my little brother's medical bills. Now, why am I telling you this story? Because I learned two things from this experience. Number one, I never, ever want to work that hard to earn so little money. And secondly, there is no time in life to sit in a corner and cry and feel sorry for yourself. If you are in trouble and you don't like the situation that you are in, you get up and you make a plan. Those were the two amazing things that I've learned from my parents subconsciously. Anyway, little did I know at this time that many, many years later, I was going to do exactly that. I was going to not work so hard. I was going to work smarter and earn a lot more money through Airbnb. But it didn't start with Airbnb. It started with this book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I picked up this book many years later. I read it and I decided that's it. Property is where I am going to be making my money, because I don't want to work for a boss for the rest of my life. You can climb the corporate ladder as much as you like. When you get to the top of the ladder, it's still somebody else's ladder, and I did not want that. So through reading and learning about property, I started buying properties on auction from the sheriff. And at some stage, I bought this dump in Fourways in Johannesburg. That's my friend Janet standing in the garden there on the day that I bought it. And when I bought it, she said to me, "Oh, this property is so big. Look at this garden. Now you can have dogs." I said, "You don't be stupid. I'm not going to have dogs. I'm going to tidy this ugly thing up, and I'm going to put a tenant in, and I'm going to be earning money from it," which is exactly what I did. Put a tenant in after I tidied it up. Guess what happened 6 months later? The tenant ran into financial trouble, and he started paying his rental late. So eventually I got fed up with that. And I said to the tenant, "Please move out, because you're not paying your rental, and I can't carry on like this, nagging for money and getting my money late every month." So guess what happened next? Then this asset became a liability. Because if you've read any of Robert Kiyosaki's books, or if you're a bit clued up on property investments, then you will know the moment something costs you money, it's no longer an investment, it becomes a liability. So suddenly I was no longer making money on this house. It was now costing me money every month because I lived in it. until a friend introduced me to Airbnb in 2013. And I decided, well, I've got a spare room. I live in the one room. One room is vacant and the other room I use as my study. I might just as well put it onto Airbnb and see what happens. So guess what? It took me 6 months before my first guest arrived because I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea how to optimize my settings on the Airbnb platform. I didn't know a thing about hospitality or anything like that. And guess what I made in my first year? September 2013, I joined, and 2014, March, my first guest arrived. And for the whole of 2014, I made 2,000 Rand, which was dismal even in those days because I didn't know what I was doing. And I was just teaching myself through trial and error. But I'm a very fast learner because you know what happened? I'm going to skip past my interview with Phil because we don't have time for that today. So the following year, in 2015, I made 20 times what I made in 2014. I made almost 4,000 Rand on average. I made 48,000 Rand that year because through trial and error, I just taught myself how to tweak things and how to get guests and how to retain them and how to get more guests. So it was a difficult learning curve, but thankfully, this was not my only stream of income. I was just doing it part-time, like I am doing today, doing it part-time. So let's fast forward from 2015 to 2020 and the pandemic that hit us. So let me show you what I made in from March 2020 at the height of a pandemic for a 6-month period until August. So these are screenshots of some of the transactions that I did during the pandemic. There was a 60-night booking for 15,000 Rand. There's a 60-night for 20,000 and so forth and so forth. Just a few examples of actual transactions that I did March to August last year. I made on average 6,898 Rand per room per month during a pandemic when the entire world had its worst economic period ever. And that comes to 82,000 Rand per year per room. So, ladies and gentlemen, can I share all of this IP with you? My secrets, my shortcuts, my special optimization tactics, and everything I did to turn every bedroom into a 5-figure income stream. So today, at the end of this presentation, I'm going to invite you to enroll for a workshop of your choice, one of those 2 options, where I'm going to be sharing all of that secret sauce with you. So how did I go about paying my bond with Airbnb? Let's go back to this story. I bought this dump, tidied it up, put a tenant in, and this is what happened to this property. I bought it in 2010 for 840,000 Rand. It was a 3-bed, 2-bath, and I was earning 0 from it every month after I kicked the tenant out. In 2021, just about a month ago, it was valued at 2.9 million. It is now a 5-bed, 3-bath. How did it get from a 3-bed to a 5-bed? Today's guests build tomorrow's rooms. You can stay in your house. Your guests pay your pension. They pay your holidays. They pay for your home extensions. They pay for your home loan. And the asset stays yours. Imagine that. So the dump that I bought in 2010 now looks like this. That was 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, 3rd bedroom upstairs. There's 1 bedroom, there's 2 bedrooms, 3rd bedroom upstairs. All of this I added on, plus this entertainment area, dollied up the garden, and it became a real asset. So now I'm earning on average 27,500 Rand per month on this property, and I live there for free. So in 1 year, I make over 300,000 Rand on this one property on Airbnb. So what happened then? I ran out of property. I needed more property, so I used the money and I invested in more property. Around the corner, I bought a 3-bed, 2-bath in a sectional title development straight from the developer, which they say is the worst investment that you can make, is to buy straight from the developer. But this was the fastest that I could get another property, and I had bookings waiting and I needed this urgently. My neighbor gets 11,000 Rand per month rental. How do I know this? Because I went online and I had a look at what other properties are renting for in the same area, between 10,000 and 12,000. So we take on average 11,000. So let's have a look at what I made during before the pandemic. Before the pandemic on this property, from October 2019 to March 2020, I made 47,000 Rand on this property. And again, there was another transaction for 16, there was 18, there was 12. So from October to March 2020, for that 6-month period, I made 15,000 Rand a month, as opposed to my neighbors' 11,000. What happened during the pandemic? Halfway through the pandemic, from October 2020 to March 2021, I made 105,000 Rand on this property. So that's 17,000 Rand per month. In other words, I earned 9% more than what I did pre-pandemic. So there we go. My rent, 17.5. I make 6,500 Rand a month more than my neighbor. That's 78,000 Rand a year more. What would happen if I had to put that extra money into my home loan? Because, you know, if you put extra money into your home loan, you pay it off faster and you save a huge amount of money on interest. So let's take these numbers as an example. A 1.395 million Rand bond, which is what I paid for it. Let's say I got a 100% bond at a 7% interest rate, which is more or less what the interest rate is that you'll get in South Africa right now. Over a 20-year period, you put that extra money into your home loan, you're going to save 700,000 Rand in interest. Ladies and gentlemen, why would you want to pay your bank 700,000 Rand more than what you should or what you could? Whoops. Dropped my mouse there. So now you are going to repay your home loan in only 9 years instead of 20 years. What if you don't have a 5-bedroom house that you live in and you rent out the rooms, and you don't have a 3-bedroom apartment? What if you only have one room, a spare room in your house that you want to rent out? Even if you are a tenant and you're renting a 2-bedroom apartment and one room is vacant and you can rent it out, you can use this example. So let's say you make the 6,898 a month on that one room, and you have a bond of 1 million Rand and an interest rate of 7% over 20 years, and you put that extra money into your home loan. How much are you going to save? You're going to save 580,000 Rand of interest, and you're going to shorten your loan to 7 years and 4 months. Not going to, let's see, how are we doing for time? I'm quickly going to share with you what Songezo has done. He has recently started on Airbnb after doing my workshop, and I asked him how he was doing. I did a quick interview with him, so let's hear what he has to say.
So for you, even though it's early days, what do you think, what can you see are going to be the main benefits of the Airbnb route versus traditional rental? Because you've been exposed to both now as a property investor with his own rental properties in the traditional way, and as a property investor with a new economy thinking. How do the two weigh up against each other?
I can honestly tell you now, the bond that I'm paying right now is around 5,000. I've already made more than 80% of that within this week.
Within 2 weeks, you've already made 80% of that?
No, within 1 week.
Within 1 week?
In fact, I haven't updated you. We got a guest. He stayed for 2 days and.
Okay, then he just updated me on all the guests that they've had, and it was just so exciting. And he has just about 2 months ago started after doing my Airbnb workshop. And now I want to show you guys why he is doing about 5,000 Rand that he did in his first week versus the numbers that I quoted you. I said about 6.5, 6, 8 per room per month. Why is he making so much more? Because I have shown him a different hosting strategy. My hosting strategy is to attract long-term stays. So most of my guests stay for 2 to 5 months at a time. How do I get that right? I incentivize them. So I say to them, if you stay for more than 7 days, I give you a nice discount. If you stay for more than a month or longer, then I give you an amazing discount. And that's just my hosting strategy because I'm a very lazy host. I don't like to change linen every 3 seconds. So therefore, I want my guests to stay long term. Songezo and many other students who have done my workshop, they prefer the other type of hosting strategy, and they take the short stays and they just make so much more money because they don't give people that discount when they book longer. So you can choose which one is going to suit you best. So therefore, the numbers that I've shown you that I'm doing per room per month is very, very realistic if you look at people like Songezo and what he's earning. So how much time do you need to do this? If you think somebody's going to send you an inquiry and you may be going to spend 15 minutes chatting with them online, they're going to arrive at your place and they're going to do their own thing, then they're going to leave, and after they've left, maybe you spend half an hour to just tidy up or redo the room and prepare it for the next person, and then maybe you spend another 15 minutes to just send him a message and chat to him online, if that much. So that is an hour on one guest. Let's say you have 3 guests per month, each one staying for a week. That's 3 hours to earn in the region of 6,000-7,000 Rand, or if you like Songezo, more towards 15 or 20,000 Rand per month. Compare that to your current hourly rate that you are earning in the job that you have or in the investments that you have. Work out what are you earning currently per hour and compare it to this. I can promise you this is a phenomenal hourly rate. So how can you take advantage of the current economy? Who's going to be using Airbnb? People that I talk to and they ask me, so what do you do? And I say, I do Airbnb. The first thing they say is, oh, you must have been terribly hit by this pandemic. And they don't believe me when I say to them, actually not. I've done better in the pandemic than what I did before. Why? Because I have adjusted my hosting strategy to capture the new market. Who are they? People relocating from within the country, moving from Cape Town to Joburg for jobs, or from Joburg to Pretoria, and they just look for somewhere to stay for a month or 2 months whilst they are looking for a permanent place of their own to stay. People who are pending immigration, their plans have been delayed because borders are closed and all those processes have been delayed. So now they're stuck and they just need somewhere to stay for a month or 2 or 3. Divorcees, because yes, so many more divorces have taken place over the last year because now we're in each other's space 24/7, and unfortunately COVID has just accelerated the inevitable. So people are looking for a place to stay temporarily whilst they decide what to do next. House sellers, buyers and renovators, because now they're in between houses, they're in between properties, and they need somewhere to stay for the moment. There are so many of them out there. Business travelers, because companies have cut down on expenses, they can no longer afford to put their staff up and their managers and their directors up in fancy accommodation. So now they need more affordable yet good value for money accommodation, and Airbnb fills that gap beautifully. Cityscapers, if you have something out in the countryside, and this is not only a trend that has taken shape in South Africa, but also worldwide. We've seen it in places like Europe and in America long before we saw it in South Africa. People want to escape the city because they've been in lockdown for so long. They want to reconnect with their families and people close to them. So they want to go into the countryside and be in nature. And then there are the professional swallows, people like my mom, who lives in a tiny little town in South Africa. She has had so many professional swallows who came and to stay with her for a month or 2 or 3 at a time, because now all you need is Wi-Fi, and you can work from anywhere in the world. And she lives in a beautiful little town called Aston Bay on the coast next to the surfing capital of South Africa called Jeffreys Bay. Why do I use Airbnb as opposed to so many of the other booking platforms that are available out there? Number one, Airbnb has a finance department, which I don't need to employ. I don't need to employ somebody to keep track of who has paid and who hasn't paid and what money has come in and how much money have I earned and count numbers. Airbnb does all of that. Those transaction histories and screenshots that I've shown you, you get that by a click of a button on Airbnb. They do all the marketing. I don't need to do my own marketing and spend thousands every month on social media and all sorts of advertising because Airbnb does all of that for me. They even screen guests for me. They do a lot of the screening process on my behalf. And there are various ways. I'm not going to go into all the detail around that. I add a few more steps to do additional screening of guests, which I go into great detail in my workshop, and I show practical examples. And they also provide insurance. Now, if a guest breaks anything, you don't need to worry to get that money from the guest or to take it out of your own pocket. You claim from Airbnb's insurance. Now, for those of you who own property and you're renting it out to tenants, you will know what a struggle it is to get money from tenants. Airbnb does all of that for you. You will know what a struggle it is to use a tenant's deposit for any breakages or damages, because normally by the time it gets to that, you've already used that money to pay for the tenant's arrears. Airbnb covers all of that for you, and all they charge you is a 3% fee of any booking that you take. There is no monthly fee, there's no registration fee, nothing. There's only a 3%, what I call collection fee, or what they call a service fee. So they provide all those services, and no other booking platform provides all of these things all in one, and that's why I prefer Airbnb. Now, these are lots of success stories, which I'm not going to share with you today because we're going to be running out of time soon. But, oops, sorry, let me just go through the 3 secrets that I've already shared with you. I've shown you how to use Airbnb to pay for your home loan or to create another income stream, how to capitalize on the current economy, who it is that you're going to be attracting during the current economy, and how you can really make money more so now than ever before, and what makes Airbnb better than any other booking platform. Now, for those of you who want to take it a step further, today was just me sharing with you how I've used Airbnb and how you can use Airbnb. And it was an introduction to this phenomenal business model. Now, if you want to take it a step further, you're going to have you have 2 options. The one is the quick start option, and the other one is the advanced hosting program. And in both of these, I share with you the building blocks to create the perfect listing. Now, building block number 1, I'm going to show you how to get ready before you're ready. Now, I know Lumko has said to me, how do you make money on Airbnb before you even have your listing ready? This is the building block where I show you exactly how to do that. I'm going to show you the fit out essentials and give you the ultimate checklist of what you need and where to shop without breaking the bank, and how to use photos to get more bookings, what your photos should look like, what photos you should have and which ones to leave out, and also the best locations. Not that I believe that there is such a thing as a bad location on Airbnb, but there are certainly ones that stand out. If from an investment point of view, you want to chase after certain locations, I'm going to be sharing with you which ones those are. And the second building block is the blueprint to optimize your settings. Now, this will help you to create a compelling listing and get you more bookings. I'm going to share with you how to select the best pricing, because it will be different for each and every one of you, which settings to optimize and which ones to ignore. It's those little things that very few people know that make a huge difference that I share with you during or in this building block number 2. And the things that you can do to get more bookings. Now, building block 1 and building block 2 is available for option 1 and 2. And during this one, you're going to watch me create a absolute scroll stopper of a listing. And the third building block is the ultimate cheat sheet of quick start secrets, how you can start quickly without having any reviews, any experience whatsoever. And building block number 4 is only for option 2 for the advanced hosting program. It's the COVID Safe Stays Made Easy blueprint. It's been approved and certified Airbnb cleaning protocols, and I've tested it in my own home and I've improved on it. And I'm going to show you how you can save time and save money, and how you don't need to invest in fancy and expensive cleaning materials and cleaning equipment, and how you can actually save money. You're going to thank me for this later. This is only for option 2, the advanced hosting program. And then the 5th building block is how to choose 5-star guests, and it's my 3-step system to screen guests. And I'm also going to show you how to compile the ultimate house guide to make sure that you get 5-star guests. And this is for option 2 for the advanced hosting program only. And the advanced hosting program, option 2, is going to have practical weekly training through live training sessions via Zoom. There's also going to be a weekly prize draw, and questions that I'm asked just before I go into the final summary. Questions that people ask me is, can I do this part-time? Yes, absolutely. I am still doing this part-time. Even with 40 listings, I am doing this part-time, and I'm going to show you exactly how to. We went through how much time you need earlier on. Do I have to cook for guests? Absolutely not. If I have to cook for my guests, they will die. But if you are good at cooking, they're going to love you for it, and then I really recommend that you do cook for them. Do they share your kitchen, your fridge? If you are renting out a room in your house, then absolutely. Then you do what I do, and you give each person a space in your grocery cupboard, and you give each one a space in the fridge. So they have their own space, and then they share everything, and they're happy to do it. I've been doing it since 2013. What if I don't want to host guests all the time? Very simple. Like my mom, you just block your calendar if you're going away on holiday, and you say, I don't want any worry about any guests for the next month. You block your calendar, and that's it. You're not a formal establishment. You decide how often you want to host. What if I live far from the property? If you live far from the property, it doesn't matter if you live in South Africa and you have property in Portugal. I will show you how to manage it from afar. What if my property is not 100% ready yet? There are people like Ben that you saw in that video right in the beginning. Ben doesn't even own property. He rents property and then he Airbnbs it. And he didn't have any property when he did my workshop, and he came to do it so that he could look at it from a different perspective, so that when he went out to look for property, he could choose the right one. What about the tax implications? Now, it's very easy. In South Africa, if you earn money, you declare it to the South African Revenue Service and you pay tax on it. Now, there are ways that you can cleverly structure your tax affairs, and for that, you're going to need a bookkeeper, an accountant, or a tax advisor. In the beginning, I put all the income and all the expenses through my personal capacity until my bookkeeper said, I think it's time that we start a PTY for you so that you can write off your expenses and your income and everything through that. And now I leave it to my accountant, and they sort out all those fancy accounting, because I'm very bad when it comes to numbers. But in a nutshell, tax implications, 2 things in life are certain: tax and death. So make sure you get a good tax consultant. And then I have offered some of my students refunds on the workshops that they have done. And they've all come back with the same answer. Here is Ben's answer. Ben doesn't own any property. He rents them and then he Airbnbs them. This is what Ben had to say when I offered him a refund.
If I had to say to you today, Ben, I'm going to give you a refund on what you've invested in my course, but when you accept that refund, you are not allowed to apply anything that you've learned in terms of Airbnb? Would you take that refund?
No.
Why not?
Of course not. Of course not.
What if I say
Of
to
course
you, I will give you 5 times your investment refunded, and you're never allowed to use anything that you've learned?
I'd never do that, because you're not supposed to look at the price of a shovel when digging for gold.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you can't look at the price of a shovel when you're digging for gold. So the quick start option, ladies and gentlemen, it comprises online video tutorials that you can do. This is what I call the do-it-yourself option. And if you enroll for that, $4,997, for those of you who are paying in dollars and pounds, this is an absolute giveaway. Even if you're paying in rands, this is an absolute giveaway at $4,997. You will be able at the end of those tutorials to have an Airbnb business where you can start receiving guests immediately. And if you want to enroll for that course, you just go to www.smartairbnbs.com/quick start, and you can enroll for that immediately, and you can start working on those video tutorials today, tonight, tomorrow, this morning, wherever in the world you are. Option 2 is the advanced hosting program, where you get all 5 building blocks. It's not a 10-day program. I've extended it to a 14-day program, and it also comprises video tutorials. And instead of the 3 building blocks, it's got all 5. And then you're going to have homework submissions, which you're going to post on a Facebook group so that I can see what you have been doing. And that's where you're going to be posting questions, and we're going to interact. So it's not just a one-way program. This is where you're going to have my interaction, you asking questions, and me assisting you throughout the process. There's going to be 2 live training sessions during that 14-day period, and it's going to have prize draws. And I can only take a maximum of 15 people at a time. Otherwise, the class becomes too big, and then I cannot pay special attention to you, and then you're not going to get value for the money that you've invested. For the month of May, we're going to start this program on the 7th. If you enroll for the advanced hosting program today, you can start those video tutorials immediately. But you have until the 7th. Do not start the May program later than the 7th of May. On the 13th of May, we're going to have our first live training session, and that's normally a 2-hour. If we go more than 2 hours, it's not the end of the world. I'm happy to stretch it. And on the 17th, we have the first prize draw, and on the 24th, on the 21st, it ends. And on the 24th, we have our graduation training and our grand prize draw. Now, just to give you a rundown again, it's a 14-day program. You do the video tutorials and you interact via the Facebook and the 2 live training sessions, and then there are going to be prize draws. Now, normally, this goes for an investment of $6,997 once off, and you can enroll for that immediately by going to smartairbnbs.com/AHP, and that stands for Advanced Hosting Program. And because you are at the M5 Step Up, for today only, for those of you who are here, I'm going to give you, at no additional investment, access to a community called Smart Hosts, which is a private Facebook group of people who have already completed this workshop. And that is going to be your support for life from here onwards, because success is not only about getting the technical details right. It's also about surrounding yourself with a community of like-minded people where you can share your successes and you can ask questions if you're not sure, and you're going to get support from so many hundreds of other people who have done the exact same workshop. And wait for this, because you are part of the M5 Step Up, I'm also going to give you a 1,000 Rand refund when you complete the workshop. And in order to get that refund, you only need to do two things. Number one, you have to complete the workshop. And number two, you have to leave a review, good or bad. I don't care. Whatever you like to leave at the end in terms of a review, it's entirely up to you. And you're going to say, but Karen, why do you give me a refund of 1,000 Rand at the end? It's because I have attended so many workshops online, and I've seen so many people arrive on the first day, and by the time you finish, there's a fraction of them left. People invest money to educate themselves, and then they never complete the course. I don't want you to be one of those. I want you to complete this course because I want you to reap the benefits and I want you to be successful. So I want to incentivize you to please complete this workshop. It's not going to be feasible for me to have this kind of offer for much longer. You can imagine, this is 2,700 Rand that I'm adding on to you for no additional cost. So it's not feasible for me to continue running it like that. So it's only for the M5 step up guys for now. So option 1 is the quick start. Option 2 is the advanced hosting. Don't worry about option 3 to now. That is not applicable. That option has been sold out and I don't have capacity to take on any more of those. And if you want to enroll, that's where you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been absolutely fabulous talking to you. And I'm now going to ask TJ to let us into the room for the VIPs. So I look forward to helping you create a brand new income stream on Airbnb, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side. TJ, that's me, dude. TJ, I've lost you. I can't hear you.
Hey, Karen, can you
There
hear me?
we go. Yeah. Now I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. I was just saying that I think, dude, you have given so much value in here. I think for anyone else, but here's the thing, right, Karen? Someone asked me the other day, and they said to me, TJ, you're bringing all of these people in and they're giving us strategies, different strategies of property. It's confusing me. And I said to them, well, why are you confused? Because, property is like, it's like dating,
Yes.
Not everyone is good for everyone, right? And you have the obligation to actually choose and pick. For you, Karen, you are 100% Airbnb. You understand it. You've gone in it, and you can squeeze it out, right? But I am not satisfied. I like to do Airbnb short time during my seasonal holidays, and I like to do student accommodation, blocks of flats, and things like that. And I think the reason why we do what we do is so that we can expand our minds. We can see what is possible. The more I listen to you, the more I'm like, I think I should just be doing Airbnb. But everyone has their own strategy, and it's okay to diversify it. It's okay to stay in one niche. And this is what I like about your presentation, Karen. Not only have you given us the secret sauce, not only have you given us how we can do it, you have also given us the opportunity to actually come through and learn more for those that are wanting to start. So thanks for your time.
It's a pleasure. There's just so much to share. And I really spoke so fast tonight. I've never spoken this fast because normally my presentations are much longer. But I know that we have time constraints. And to take 7-8 years worth of knowledge, TJ, you know me, I can sit and talk for an entire day about Airbnb. So I really hope that the little bit that I was able to squeeze into the time that we have was enough for people to be enticed and to be excited about Airbnb and to come and explore this further with me. So yes, and as you say, it's not you going to say, oh, maybe not Airbnb, maybe something else. People are going to get confused, but about different options. But at the end of the day, I've done it. I've bought property, I've renovated it, I've sold it. I've done the flipping thing. I've bought properties on auctions. I've bought properties and put tenants in there long term. I've converted all of those to Airbnbs because, from my childhood story that I told you, I learned by watching my parents that I never want to work that hard to earn so little money. And I never knew that it was going to be so many years later that Airbnb was going to knock on my door and that Airbnb was going to be that answer for me, because I love Airbnb. I love meeting people from all over the world. It's I can't believe that it's taken me this long, that I'm only now at this age finding something that gives me so much pleasure. And when I watched that video in the beginning where people were telling, what they've achieved through the workshop, every time I watch that, I get goosebumps and I get a little bit emotional, because this has been the most rewarding thing that I've done in my entire life, is showing other people how they can do what I've done without having to go through all those struggles and trials, errors, and just take the shortcut. And it's like playing Monopoly. Do not pass go straight, don't just take the shortcut.
All right, awesome stuff. So, Karen, please do check your WhatsApp. We're gonna send you the number to the link to the back room. Yeah. Excellent. So we'll meet you at Zoom, and we're gonna do like a 15-20 minutes in Zoom. And for those people that are now, Karen, thanks a lot for your time, and cheers. I'm gonna close whilst I'm here.
Excellent.
Okay, awesome stuff. So we've got Karen, and my team is going to send Karen the details for us to be meeting in the back room. So let me just close off. I apologize, we've gone 20 minutes over. For some of you who are going to go into the back room, we're going to do like a 15-20 minutes. Please have your questions ready. And Karen, she is going to meet us there. And then thereafter, right, for those that are wanting to join our programs, I am sure you are going to gain so much value. I did gain I did gain some value when I joined here together with my team. It was myself, Rita, Bevan. We went in for that course. And to this date, we do Airbnb. In Durban, we do Airbnb in Cape Town. And I'm just thinking, maybe we should bring it to Joburg. I just sent a text right now to someone, one of my team members. I'm like, why haven't we been doing this? So I think we are going to. Yeah, I can see it. It's coming. I think this conference has not been just for you. It's also for me. Even though I hang out with Karen, but it's also for me. It reminded me of something else that I can do. So, ladies and gentlemen, a quick 2 minutes. Right, like a literally quick 2 minutes, and let's meet at the back room. For some of you who have paid, if you haven't, you're missing out. You still got 7 more days, 6 more days, 5 more days, where you can literally be asking your own questions in the back room. And over and above that, you get access to the property varsity, and you can gain so much value. But let me not waste time so that we can enjoy what's in the back room. My name is TJ. We will see you tomorrow morning.
Let's get ready to rumble!